I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is a Patreon review for Stephen Wilkos. Thank you once again for pledging to the channel. If you ever want to throw in a pledge to my Patreon, the link to my Patreon is down below. Or if you ever want to request a review or video on a topic or review of pretty much anything, my PayPal, the link to that is down below too in the info box. But yes, I finally got around to watching this film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the new Quentin Tarantino film, and I am very glad that I did see it. Also want to think this was a generous gift. Sometimes people don't want me to say their names who send me stuff. Maybe because of being anonymous. But if you watching, feel free to mention it down below. But this was a good one. I gotta say, I would say it's the best Tarantino film I've seen in a while. Because Django Unchained, I was bitched on. There's a lot of stuff I liked about it. That was one I did feel the length. I didn't hate Django Unchained. There's a lot I liked. I like Jamie Foxx. I like Tarantino's direction. Leo. Love the theme from They Call Me Trinity. The do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Love the bloody gore. I did enjoy that stuff. So Django Unchained, again, I felt the length of that movie, but overall I did like it. But The Hateful Eight, I did not care for it at all. I'm sorry. I reviewed that on the channel. I could not get into The Hateful Eight at all. Inglourious Basterds, same thing. I enjoyed Brad Pitt. I enjoyed what they did with the ending. But Inglourious Basterds I didn't care for. But I enjoyed Pulp Fiction. Jackie Brown I liked. Reservoir Dogs I liked. Kill Bill Volume 1 is still my favorite. I also like Kill Bill Volume 2. I loved Grindhouse. Saw that in the theater. It was a great experience. But yeah, this was really nice to see. Now, I don't love every single thing about it. But what I appreciate with this flick, it's just such a insanely well-directed movie. I love what Tarantino does in movies like this. And you just say he did it for the other movies too, but maybe because this time period, being among Hollywood and the movie scene, that just intrigues me more than the Western or World War II. That could be it. Before I get into that, the story, Leonardo DiCaprio is an actor who's been in a bunch of stuff. He's now doing TV work. You know, he was successful in a show called Bounty Law. Now he's doing these guest spots and shows. He sees his career is dwindling. Brad Pitt is a stunt double and they're friends with each other. It's kind of it's hard to even say journey, just sort of scenes of them and slice of life. I don't want to say episodic, but I don't know if I could say there's a driving plot to this, but it's hard to describe without spoiling everything. It's definitely a movie I want people to check out if you can, because the ending is pretty damn cool. Especially if you know the real events, what happened, and then what Tarantino does, similar to what he did at the end of Inglourious Basterds, but I liked it even more here. It's very satisfying how he plays around with, I don't want to say the format, but the direction, even little bits, the old Columbia logo at the beginning, how he'll show bits of Leo's TV show, The Character Bounty Law, and the screen will be that big to replicate the style of the TVs back in the day. And bits that I'd noticed I thought was clever filmmaking. For example, you know what, I'll get that when I do more in spoilers. When I saw the teaser to this, I was disappointed in the teaser because I thought it had a really cringeworthy joke. What, tearing his load? Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, really? Your teaser, you have a cum joke? Just tearing his load, yeah, what, in your mouth? Do you swallow? I'm like, oh my god, what's this going to be? But that's early on, and the other humor does not go that route. So I don't know, fire the person who did the teaser. I don't know, it was a piss poor teaser. The cast, Leo does a great job. Brad Pitt, they're both actors I've always enjoyed. Leonardo DiCaprio, I enjoyed in The Revenant, which I reviewed a few weeks back. What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Inception, The Wolf of Wall Street. Brad Pitt, I enjoyed in Ad Astra, which I reviewed a month or two ago. No, a few months ago by now. World War Z, among others. Fight Club. Al Pacino, I wish he was in the film more. He's only in it pretty much early on as this movie producer who loves Leo's work. Kurt Russell, who at times is the narrator, which I thought was a great touch. And he does play a character in the flick. But, so he plays two roles. He plays this character who's working with stunt people, and then he plays the voice of the narrator. I thought that was that was a great touch. You have Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate, which of course that relates to the Manson murders, which is in our third act. When we see Leo's TV show, you see people like James Remar and Michael Madsen and some other people there. Luke Perry, which I believe is the last thing he did before he passed away. He's in this. Bruce Dern has a small role in it. So definitely a very capable cast. Any flaws? Sometimes their scenes are a bit overindulgent. There are scenes where it's almost like we're witnessing a whole episode of a show Leo's character is doing. And part of you's going, okay, are you going to stop this now? Like, could you get back to the actual movie? Or is it, you don't show like the whole TV show of this? So there are scenes that go on a little bit too long. Although one in particular I understand and actually appreciate. The sequels of Bruce Lee just rubbed me the wrong way because it's Brad Pitt and Bruce Lee, because it's on the set of The Green Hornet. And the Bruce Lee in this is cocky and full of himself, and Brad Pitt's character is going one-on-one on Bruce Lee, and the Bruce Lee in this is talking a big game and about how he could beat Cassius Clay, and I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't think you needed to do that. I don't even think you needed the scene, because the scene, it's a pretty lengthy movie. You could have easily cut the scene out. Of the scenes in the movie, that seemed like the one that get just a bit of the controversy. And I know Tarantino goes, well, I've heard that that's what Bruce Lee was, and that he was a cocky guy. But I go, there was really no point to have this scene in the movie. You could easily skip it, and it doesn't really change much of anything, other than you would miss Kurt Russell's role, because Kurt Russell is the main stunt coordinator who gets Brad Pitt this job, and it results in Brad Pitt facing this guy, I forget the actor who played Bruce Lee, who looked like Bruce Lee with the glasses on, but when he took the glasses off, I'm like, okay, if you want to say that's Bruce Lee, might as well be Lee Bruce, or Bruce T, or Bruce Ty, or Bruce Lie, or something. With that stuff said, I think this movie does a lot of things right. It captures the era, the look, fairly well. With the cars, the backgrounds, the posters. You have like a bench that has a poster of the Prisoner TV show. And it looked like a lot of it was practical, not just CGI, backgrounds, and all done digital. There's a lot of practical stuff. The look of the film, it's a great looking movie. I mean, Tarantino, he's an old school guy. He's a fan of old school stuff, so it does feel like a movie. It doesn't feel too pristine and clear. The look into filmmaking, the behind the scenes, like Al Pacino being this movie producer and being a big fan of Leo and films. And then you get to see some of the films Leo has been in. I thought that was pretty fun to do that. Like I said, the ending is very satisfying. Leo and Brad Pitt worked very well together. Give me my glasses back. Well, come get it, fucker. There's a lot of nice directing touches. And it's just very entertaining. It was a lot of fun to watch on a acting wise, cinematography wise, directing wise. Certain things Tarantino put in there that I thought was very clever. Seeing character actors like Clu Gulager has a small role in this. I mentioned Luke Perry and others. And getting more into spoilers, starting now. Near the end of the film, I love when Al Pacino's so excited and he's like this old like movie producer guy. I love your stuff, and I love that thing with the eye patch. And it shows a film Leo did where he's killing Nazis with a flamethrower. And it was like a real fucking flamethrower. And then Leo talks about, I don't know, that thing's hot. And then they show like a behind the scenes where he almost gets burned and testing the flamethrower before they shot this. Or Al Pacino giving him the clues years dwindling down because, you know, you're on these TV shows, you're guest spots, and see, you're getting beaten up. Not because they want to give you a role, but because they want to put you down for the guy that they want to prop up. Oh look, it's the new guy beating up the old guy. Who's going to get the show you next week, huh? Mannix? Batman and Robin? Boom, down goes your career as a leading man. And stuff like that, being a big fan of movie history, Yeah, I talked a lot about the 80s and 90s because that's the era I grew up with, of course. But I love movie history. I love seeing old school Hollywood and how Tarantino looks back on the making of these films, but also having fun with it and not taking it 100% seriously either. And I could see what Tarantino was saying. Like maybe that's why a lot of these famous people were in these TV shows for that reason. To get the shit kicked out of them because, hey, your leading man quality's coming down. And then I love the idea they recommend him to do spaghetti westerns. Which later on in the film he does. Sadly, we don't see the filming of those, but we do see the posters, including one with Leo and Telly Savalas. I thought that the name and the look of the posters, that was pretty fun. Doesn't mean I enjoy that creativity. I mentioned I like the back and forth between Brad Pitt and Leo. Brad Pitt, I love the dog he has. It's a very cute dog, good dog. Then at the end, the dog, you don't want to fuck with the dog. I love even Brad Pitt's, how he talks to the dog. Hey, you don't whine. Don't throw this shit in the trash. I like the characters quite a bit of Leo and Brad Pitt's characters. They were likable to me. I'm not sure what kind of breed that dog is, but I like the look of the dog. Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate, she did fine. It seemed like she was barely in the film, which I was kind of fine with because, I mean, this kind of makes her seem a bigger character than she is. It is more about the other two, which I prefer. But I mean, her character... Jumping ahead to the finale, for those who don't know, Sharon Tate, who is even shows her with Roman Polanski, but then she was with other people, and her character lives next door to Leo, his house. Sharon Tate was an actress who was murdered by the Manson family. So it does a nice job of like, oh shit, this is building up, and then it gives you a swerve, kind of like the ending of Inglourious Basterds. And I hope more people do this. I hope more people really, if it's on purpose, not because they're too stupid to know, but because they want to do it on purpose for fun. You notice that Once Upon a Time makes you think like a fairy tale. Hence, it's going to have a fairy tale ending. How you don't have a fairy tale ending where this woman's going to get murdered by the Manson family? Well, you're going to change history where Leo comes out and says, get off my fucking street. So the Manson family wants to kill him. And so Brad Pitt is there, who he's a stunt man, but he's also he has like military background, and he beats the fuck out of the Manson family. Like this one lady just against the brick fucking wall and against the... I'm like, god damn. Man, this movie don't give a fuck about the climate of, oh, women. No, it's like, he doesn't give a fuck if you're a man or woman. Oh, you're a Manson family? Turned her face into mush and nush. Like, fucking god damn. I've seen horror films less bloody and ooh than this. And his dog's biting the nuts off one guy and throwing cans at a woman's face, and then Leo gets woken up and fucking gets his flamethrower that we saw at the beginning of the film, because he has the prop in storage, gets the flamethrower out and burns a part of the Manson family in the fucking pool. And then, for more of the fairy tale ending, Sharon Tate, who's now alive, comes out, oh, what happened? Oh, yeah, these fucking hippies. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, man. Would you like to come inside and talk? So now Leo's going to talk with an up-and-coming actress and famous friends. So now it's more of a fairy tale. Wow, this instead is going to lead maybe his second resurgence into stardom or bigger or better roles. I mean, and it's like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like a fairy tale ending. I'm like, wow, that was really clever and ballsy. I wish more people would do that, because it made it interesting, made it unique. Other directing touches I enjoyed. When the Leo and Brad Pitt are watching TV and they're watching the episode that Leo is a villain in, and it's focused just on the TV, and it's almost like a little audio commentary. It doesn't cut away, it's looking at the whole thing of the TV, and you just hear Leo and Brad Pitt as their characters commenting like you were watching an audio commentary. The one long scene I was fine with, because Leo was doing a good job, and he got to also play a villain, because in some of these TV shows he's a villainous character doing a really good job. And the reasons being this long is that we're getting into the show, and then Leo goes, fuck, line. Fuck. And it's like, oh shit, I almost got caught up with the show. But there are certain times where it didn't try to do clever stuff with that. But I thought that was a bit clever. There's other points I'm like, okay, I think there are moments where you could edit this down a little bit. I forgot the running time was like 2 hours and 40 minutes. There's probably at least 20 minutes you could edit down a little bit. Honestly, take out the entire Bruce Lee scene. You did not need the Bruce Lee scene. I didn't care for it. It didn't add anything. You could argue, well, it's Brad Pitt's character remembering this, so maybe he's remembering Bruce Lee being a dick. Or you could go with, well, the ending never happened in real life, so who's to say this happened in real life? So it's another going off kilter, messing with history, what if? You know, it's another what if. Like, what if Sharon Tate survived, and what if the Manson family was killed, or at least some of them? There's only like 3 of them. But then, you know, when Tarantino answered the question when he's asked, he didn't really mention any of that. He mentioned, yeah, I've heard that he's cocky, Bruce Lee's cocky. So, you know, Quentin Tarantino's answer kind of sullied that as well. So the scene just bugged the fuck out of me. I can't help it. But if I could edit that scene out, I'm like, this, again, doesn't really do anything. I guess you could say, well, Matt, it showcases that Brad Pitt's character is a badass because he could go toe-to-toe with Bruce Lee, thus leading to the ending where he's taking out these Manson guys. But at the same time, these Manson guys, well, it's a guy and 2 girls, they're almost buffoons. Little buffoons almost, and you could buy Brad Pitt just being a stuntman and showcase some stunts that he does. Because even though he's a stuntman, I don't know if there's a scene where we actually see Brad Pitt's character doing a stunt. But he's a stuntman. Now that I think about it, I can't remember a scene where they showcase that Brad Pitt's doing an actual stunt for Leo's character. If there is, I can't remember it. You would think I would, and it's almost 3-hour running time. But you just showcase that and doing, you know, fights. And, you know, showcase, oh, he has a history. You didn't need to do it with Bruce Lee. But on a positive note, it was interesting to see people like Nicholas Hammond. Nicholas Hammond, he was the actor from the Spider-Man TV show from back in the day. He played Peter Parker in the old Spider-Man TV show. And he's in this as like a TV director for Leo. I think it was cool to see people like Kurt Russell and all these other guys. There's a scene where someone mentions, hey, I heard, Leo, I forget the character's name, but I heard you were going to be in The Great Escape. And so Leo's trying to talk to the guy. As he keeps talking, he's picturing himself in The Great Escape. So it does sort of the Forrest Gump thing, where it puts Leo in the movie The Great Escape replaces Steve McQueen. Stuff like that was a bit fun and interesting. So like I said, for the most part, I like the story. I love the finale. I love the look, the style, a lot of the directing touches that I mentioned before that Tarantino did. I like the cast. Margot Robbie, I would say she's the weakest, but there's really nothing to her character other than she walks around, she watches one of her own movies, The Wrecking Crew. There's really nothing to the Sharon Tate character in this. She's just kind of like, I didn't really not much of a performance, to be perfectly honest. Maybe because there was not much there on the script. It seemed like even the movie itself thought, yeah, this girl isn't interesting. Let's focus more on Brad and Leo, which I'm fine with and prefer. It seemed she was more of a plot device because, okay, Sharon Tate leading to the third act. That's how I view it. Whether that's good or bad, that's up to you. Of course, Tarantino, a lot of nice pieces of dialogue. Again, I think there's about 20-some minutes you could cut out. You could cut out the entire fucking Bruce Lee bit. Didn't add anything to it. There's other ways you establish Brad Pitt's character being tough. Like, how about doing actual fucking stunts as a stuntman? I know this is based on true story, the ending is the Manson family, but if you don't go all out, you should have had them somehow call for reinforcements, get the entire Manson family there, and have Leo and Brad Pitt kill all of them. Like somehow, if you don't go for the what if alternate reality, which I appreciate, it's fun, just somehow get all the fucking Manson family in there and just have Brad Pitt, Leo fucking kill and burn all of them. Including Charlie Manson. That would have made the ending even more glorious. But as it is, it's pretty damn cool of an ending, I gotta admit. Pretty damn cool. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm glad to have it. I haven't checked out the features. These usually don't have commentaries, Tarantino films, but you have 7 additional scenes. Quentin Tarantino's love letter to Hollywood. The production design. The fashion. It doesn't look like much for features, to be honest. But glad I had the film because I ended up enjoying it. So thank you for watching. Take care. And stay tuned for more reviews later.